This video is to show you the 10 steps for going through a problem module. So there's 15 problems here, and within each one you follow the pattern of essentially doing 10 steps. I'm going to give these to you and show you how they're done, and I suggest you write them down because they just might be in the orientation quiz. So the first step is you're going to click on whatever problem you're on. We're going to go ahead and just do Utah Lake here. And there will be a problem presentation. So first step is to watch the problem presentation. They're typically about a minute long, and they present a problem situation to you where you may use
Pollution has been a
calculus
problem.
to solve. And after you have watched that, you simply scroll down and click Next. And this is where you do an analysis of the problem and you think about what you would need to solve the problem, sort of what you know, what kinds of things you might need to know. And the problems are vague by design. You don't have enough information, but you have to think about what information you might need. So you're going to be posting these on the discussion board. And so this one asks 3 questions. Make sure you address all 3 questions if you want all of the points for this. Again, remember, no research, just simply stop and think. And then you will be graded on if your post is thoughtful and addresses these questions. And it's not on if it's right or not, because you don't know, you don't have all of the content, but it's on if it's clear that you've given it thought and you've used some logic in your post. So you may want to type these in Word or something and then paste them in here, or you can simply click reply here, and you are given some tools for editing. You can click right here on the Pi button if you want to put in any kind of equations. This gives you the formatting, gives you various symbols. You can format fractions, things like that if you wanted to add those in. I'm just going to put Utah Lake analysis just so we can complete that. So I just simply click post, and it puts my post in here. And after you have posted, then any other students in your group that have posted, you will be able to see their posts, and you will be required for full points to respond to at least 2 other students. And it's very important that you do these by the due date, because you've got other students needing to reply. And so you will see on your schedule that it's in red because those are firm due dates. There's no late work at all on that. Typically on other assignments it's 10% per day that they're late, but on these discussion postings and responses, no late work. So after you've posted, and you can reply to others, and basically on the due date, then you need to have done your post. By the following day, you need to have done your responses. So step 1 was watch the problem scenario. Step 2 was analyze the problem and post it on the discussion. Step 3 is to respond to at least 2 others in your group by the next day. And then I'm going to simply click next so that I can go on to step 4. And step 4 takes you to the content page, and there is a response video here that you can watch that basically tells you some of the things, more things about the problem and the types of things that you would need to know to be able to solve the problem. Then you're going to learn content that will apply to how you apply the calculus to solve it, and then you will return to solve it later. And so in this next step, which we're calling step 4, though, you actually watch content videos. And just notice here are links to the textbook if you'd like to read or refer to more of this material. You can click and this will take you to the section of those textbooks that talk about the material on this page. But for sure you need to watch these 4 content videos, and I would suggest that you take notes on them just like you had come to class and heard this content, because it'll be very useful to you. The positive thing here, you can always pause the video while you write something down. Can't rewind the lecture in class. Then step number 5 is you need to watch the homework example problems, and that there are 4 short videos here that show you how to apply these concepts in the type of things you may be asked on the homework. So you can click on those, and again you may want to work with the video and try working it yourself or take notes on how to do it. Okay, then step number 6, you need to complete practice problems. And so your 3 homework assignments, there's always 3 pieces to completing the homework. Practice, which is P, MyOpenMath, which is M, and written homework, which is W. So first I'm going to click on the P. It will take us to the practice problem page, and here I download the practice problems, and then I work those practice problems, and you should write all of the steps and how you work these practice problems. Then you need to scan them and save them as a PDF and submit them. Now if you've got a scanner, you can scan them. A lot of copy machines will let you save as a PDF and email the file to you. You can also take a picture of your assignment, and there's a lot of image to PDF converters that are free. If you Google that, you can find a good one. The important thing is it needs to be a PDF and it needs to be one file. So if you've got 4 pages and you took 4 pictures, you need to find a program that will convert those to one PDF. And like I said, there's free ones out there that work quite well, and a lot of students do that. You need to make sure if you're taking pictures that they are clear and large enough to be readable to your instructor. After you get that ready, you click right here on Submit Assignment and you upload that assignment. After you have uploaded that, you can click here. It will take you to a page where you're going to be able to download the solutions. I was in the middle of a quiz, it looks like here, but you go through the quiz and it'll let you download the solutions here, and you click Next, and you need to answer a question here. And if you understand what you're doing after you've looked over the solutions, because there'll be worked solutions to the practice problems you just did, you check this box. If you need help, you check this box, and after you check the I need help box, you go right up here to the inbox and you send a message to your instructor, and you can say, on P2 number 3, I don't understand how they did blah blah blah, whatever it might be, and ask the question, refer to which practice assignment and which question and sort of what your issue is. If you have several issues, ask several questions, because your instructor is here to help you learn the material, and the practice problems are so you are ready to then do the graded MyOpenMath problems. And so you need to make sure that there's no issues in the practice problems, that you understand everything, and if not, please ask. That will help you to understand the material. And then you can submit. Let's see, it's just telling me I didn't answer it, so I'll say I understand that, and then I submit. Now after I submit that, then I'm ready to return back to the content page, and there will always be a link on whichever assignment you're working on that will return you back to the content page. By the way, while I'm working, I can always go back there to watch the video again or refer to something, so there's always a link to return back. I've done P2, I'm now ready to do M2. So I click on M, which is MyOpenMath. Notice there's the link to return to the content page if and when we're ready. If we're in the middle of this and we say, I want to go watch that example video again, you can return here, go back and watch it, and then come back to M2. So here are the questions that we do in MyOpenMath. You can click print version if you'd like, and it'll print you all of this out. You can work it all offline, and then you can come back and you can enter the answers, submit, and then work on any that you need to fix. So that's an option. As you work through these, you click in the box, and there is that arrow if you need to get any kind of symbols. This time you just might need an infinity or a does not exist, and that's all you would need. So that's kind of what shows up there. And after you type in your answers, then you always come down here and click submit. Many of the problems have another video, so if you're struggling with this and you didn't pick up enough in the concept videos and you want a little more help, there's a video that may go over some of those concepts again to help you. On any of these, you can reattempt them, you can work on them until you get them right. So you can get 100% on these if you're persistent. And if you have questions and you're not understanding why something is, again, go to your inbox, send a message to your instructor, say I'm working on M2 number 7, ask your question, whatever your problem is. We are here to help you understand the material, so please ask. After you've completed your MyOpenMath assignment, then we go ahead and click to return to the content page. So our step number 6 was the practice problems, P2. Our step number 7 was the MyOpenMath problems, M2. And our step number 8 is W2, the written homework problems. So I click on those. Here is a PDF that I download. I work whatever its questions it has on it. I show all of the steps. Your instructor will be looking at these steps. You will receive a grade for this assignment based on that work and those steps. We don't want just an answer. We want to see your thought process. So you complete that, you scan it or save it as a PDF, you upload and submit it here, and that's completed step 8. So then I return to the content page. Now, when I'm here this time, step number 9 is if there's more content, you need to repeat these. And so I'm going to click next and show you that in this particular one, there's another content page for limit laws before you're ready to return and solve the Utah Lake problem. So you would repeat the steps of watching the content videos, working the example problems, completing P3, M3, W3, and you would continue doing that as long as there are content pages, and for Utah Lake there's a couple more. And after I've completed P5, M5, and W5, I've completed the content pages. So that was step 9, to repeat those till we get all the content pages done. Step 10 is we're ready now to solve the Utah Lake problem. And within step 10 there's actually 2 steps, and so they're both on here. You need to do a peer review of the discussion postings of 2 people that you've been assigned to review, and then you also need to solve the Utah Lake problem. So make sure when you solve these problems, this is worth 25 points, you need to make sure you answer or do anything that it says here. Like it says graphically show the concentration of this contaminant, whatever. This is graded with a rubric. If the graph is missing, you lose a chunk of those points. So make sure you read through and answer the things that are asked for that problem and then submit it as a PDF. Now, to show you what to do on the peer review problems. Now, I hopped over to the tracks problem to actually do the peer review because the Utah Lake problem didn't have any postings yet. After the postings are due, then you are assigned 2 students to review their postings and actually review those and follow a rubric to give them points. And so in order to do that, you will see these 2, and you can do them anytime after they're assigned, and they are assigned the day after the postings were due, but they are due the day you submit the problem solution. So you have to do them by that day, if not before. So I've been assigned 2 students to peer review. I click on Review Now, and what it will do here is it will show me what the student posted. This one just says, let's see how peer review works, where they should have posted and answered those 3 questions, but I just put that in there so you could get an idea. Now when you do the peer review, you can type a comment to them right here, and you need to do that to get the points for the peer review. But also you need to click up here in the upper right hand corner that says show rubric, and these are the things you're supposed to allot points on, and you give them anywhere from 0 to 5 on these 3 areas. And if they've made thoughtful comments on that, it's clear they thought about it. You don't have to necessarily agree with them. They don't have to necessarily be right. They have to be thoughtful, logical comments. Then you decide how many points to give them. And then here they were supposed to see, did they have any previous knowledge that might apply to this problem, and however they commented there, you give them points. And then they need to decide what other information they would need, and you see how they did there, and you can give them points. Now you can also click this little conversation bubble to add any additional comments. You could say, I deducted 1 point because you didn't say whatever, or however you want to do that. Then you are going to save that, and you are done with that peer review. After you are done with the peer review, after you've completed those 10 problem steps, then you're ready to start on the next problem scenario and repeat those steps.